the other universe of Couple Casuals podcast.
Oh yeah.
You want to be like right here, like yeah, there it is. No, the
deep voice.
The deep voice, the radio voice. And boom, we are live. What's up, everybody? Couple Casuals podcast, episode number 12. I'm pretty sure. I am your host, Stefano, and today I'm here with a very, very special guest. He is an entrepreneur. He is a fitness teacher, instructor, coach. And today we're going to talk a lot about fitness, lifestyle, mental health, some good stuff today. So without further ado, Gabriele Pavone.
Hello, hello, hello.
Salute, brother.
Salute.
It's tradition. And I've been working on something here. Usually
Cheers.
I do the cheers and then I put it down. But now I'm going to make sure I fucking drink it.
There we go. There we go.
Nothing better than the beer hitting the lips,
That's
eh?
it. Oh, yeah.
You know, with the fitness guys, you got to have a couple casuals every once in a while too. It's all in moderation. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
all
we're
in-
not always serious.
You got to be. It's like it's the yin and the yang, Gabe.
Yes.
It's the yin and the yang. It's the balance. The balance is everything. Which we're gonna get into a lot of good stuff like that today, guys. Gabe brings a lot to the table in regards to like the value of fitness, and he has a lot of passion, brother. You have a lot of passion, and that's what I've noticed. Like following you on Instagram and then knowing you as we were younger too. You bring a lot of passion to the table when it comes to fitness and stuff. So I think we're going to have a good conversation today about your experience with fitness, your experience with helping people with fitness, which is fucking huge, especially in a climate like today.
Oh yeah.
So let's kind of start with how you got into it, brother. Let's get into that. Give the people a little rundown of like the Gabe perspective of how you got into fitness and what made you want to get into it and make it your life.
All right. So basically how it started was to work out at MCC. And then we moved over to shout out to MCC. Yeah. Always got in my heart. And then we switched over to Express Fitness there, and I was just working out. Mm-hmm. And then one time I went to the manager, and they was like, "Are you guys hiring? You know, I just want to work. I wanted a free membership
on City View, right?
Yeah, on City View.
Yeah.
I wanted a free membership.
Good way to finesse it.
So like, let me work front desk, let me do some whatever, right? And then so he calls me back, and he goes, "Yeah, so you're looking for the personal training job?" And I said, yeah, like, you know, like
how old were you though?
This was, I think, first year university or second year.
Okay, perfect.
19, 20, whatever.
Nice.
And I was doing kinesiology, so he's like, "You looking for a personal training job?" I said, "Fuck yeah, like let's do it, right?"
Yeah.
Like, so then, he brought me in, and he's like, "What experience do you have?" And I was like, "No, you know, I'm a kid and whatever." So and then just started like shadowing other trainers, and then started taking on. I got my first client, and then just like boom, 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 it started that way. So it was basically luck. Like, I never really like intended on doing personal training.
Yes.
Because at the time I was playing football. We were playing.
Which, by the way, he was the quarterback, wicked quarterback, best quarterback in Joan, man, best quarterback in Joan.
I know so.
Yeah. We killed it back in the day.
Yeah.
We killed it back in the day.
But so then that's it, and that's how I started, and then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even before that, fitness was obviously a part of your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was obviously a big part of your life, and then that led to these other opportunities that made you yearn to maybe pass that on. So then it was kind of like the luck of the draw. Then it just kind of manifested itself.
I think so. Yeah.
The beauty thing of life, eh? The unexpected. The unexpected.
Yeah, it's always gonna come full circle.
Yeah.
Whatever you put out there, obviously, is gonna come back. So we were always working out after school. We'd go straight to the MCC, played sports, did everything. Everything was about fitness. So I think it's just a matter of how the cards were dealt, and that's it. That's how you play them.
And then that's how you got into the teaching aspect. And then what was that like transitioning from, because I find it a lot too, like sometimes I help the boys with like, boxing and stuff like that, but it's another approach to the life of fitness. Like when you're working out by yourself, you're solo, you're doing your own thing. But then when you're having to help somebody else, you have to have a passion for it, and you have to be able to exert your knowledge and pass it on in a productive way. So what was that like transition like? What was that like?
Yeah, it was kind of different. Because it's not only like, you can push yourself in a workout, but pushing someone else is a totally different aspect.
Different, because you don't have any control over how much they work.
I can do as much as I can in that hour when they come work out, but 90% of your results come from what you do outside the gym.
Exactly.
So I can't control what they eat. I can't control how they feel, what they think, right? So yeah, it's different. Your attack to the situation and to the problem is totally different, right?
Yeah, way different.
And it's teaching, right? So someone comes in and they're like, "Yeah, I've never worked out before and I don't know what to eat." And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know?"
And what's that like, by the way? Because I always wondered that, like when you're having to basically start fresh with somebody, because it can be overwhelming. You know that, like especially somebody who's never been worked out. And I know it can be intimidating sometimes, guys, going into a gym and you don't really know what you're doing. But this is when, take the opportunities like this, when you have somebody like Gabe who's seasoned, he knows what he's doing, he's done it himself, and he has a passion for it, so then they can guide you in the right direction. So what's that like, teaching somebody who doesn't know anything? Like, pretty much you got to teach them from scratch.
It's just teaching them and showing them what they like. Like, so if someone wants some let's say an 18-year-old guy comes into me and says, I never worked out and I want to put on muscle because I want to look good. So it's like, okay, well, now we're going to take this approach. Or someone who's 35 years old, never worked out, and they just had 2 kids, and this is a mother who's had 2 kids, and they want to lose that baby fat. So it's like, okay, now we're going to take this approach and say, all right, what do you like? What do you like? Do you want cardio? Do you want muscle? Do you want weight? Like,
find their goal.
Find their goal, and then find out what they enjoy. So what I do is I do functional training, and I love it because it is fun, because every single workout is different. You can add so many different things to it. And it makes it fun because it makes it challenging for them. So you can have someone doing, let's say, kettlebell swings.
Yeah. So explain to the people what you mean by functional workout, because some people may not really know that.
So functional training is using your every single body part that you possibly can in a workout to make your everyday life function at a different way, right?
It's almost like an athletic approach to training, right?
Yes, exactly. And anyone can do it. Full body. You can target specific muscles. You want to do a push-pull day. You want to do legs only. You can do a functional lower body day. And you can do an hour workout and you don't even realize that you just did a workout.
Yeah, because you're moving, eh?
Yeah, you can use one dumbbell, you can use bands, you can use kettlebells, you can do body weight, you can do anything, right? So you combine all the different styles of training. So you got Olympic lifting, you got athletic training.
Buddy, my style right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you can do everything you want. And combine different things, and you can do plyometrics and all that stuff, right?
So you keep it versatile.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not it's not boring, because that's one of the things you got to intrigue them too, right?
Yeah,
so
right. You're not in the gym for 2 hours at a time. And, let's say you burn 600 calories in 2 hours. With functional training, you can burn 600 calories in 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, and you got to
get in, get out,
work hard,
and that's it. So that's what I kind of preach to everyone, is like, you don't need to spend 2 hours in the gym 5 days a week. You can get in there, do your 45-hour workout 3 times a week, and you're good.
Yeah, because that happens a lot with people, I think, too, especially new people that start training, is they overwhelm themselves. Don't overwhelm yourself, guys. Start with like a nice, if you're doing that sort of workout, the functional workouts, you're going to get a good workout. You could start off with 2-3 times a week that you're working out, rather than, okay, I got to show up five days this week and I got to go for at least 1 hour. I feel like people get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I talked about this with Mike when I had him on the podcast, is like start where you're not overwhelming yourself, that you can find a way to do incremental improvements, which I'm sure is that something that you,
approach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So starting off with just doing a basic squat. Yeah. All right. And then we'll switch over and we'll do, all right, now let's go under the barbell and do regular squats. So let's do
incrementally
squats.
making it.
Yeah, exactly. So just getting people used to that, because it is overwhelming at first to kind of, go into a gym, or to even, take your ego back a little bit and to say, like, I need help, right? That's the biggest thing, the biggest thank you.
Yeah, that is huge. And
right? just knowing and accepting that, I need help, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is my fitness journey, and I've committed to it, so let's get it done, type of thing.
That's something worth mentioning too, is before it even becomes physical, I think it's mental. And you
mental.
definitely know that, because like you said at the beginning of the conversation, is that you can't control what other people are doing. So when you're starting to train people, I can just imagine, because it can be difficult in a sense, is that you can't control what they're doing when they're not there, but then also having to try to encourage them and motivate them. So that's why I can really appreciate somebody like you, that you have a passion for it, and you're able to guide people in that direction through experience, and then help them forward, right? Like, but that approach to that new client, to that new person, I think that's really worth getting into even a little bit deeper. Like,
so and I like to say, like, 90% of the workout is just getting to the gym.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then the last 10%, you just gotta do it, right?
Show
the
up.
hardest part, like, even me, like, I don't know if you feel it too, but
100%.
There's some days where I'm just like, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to go for a run. I don't want to do that thing. But then it's like, you just take that first step. Okay, I'm gonna put on my shoes. All right, next step, I'm gonna pack my bag. Next step, I'm gonna get into my, like, it's just like a systematic approach, and once you're there, it's like, okay, it's easy. Just finish the workout.
And all the books that you ever read, they'll talk about. I think they talk about that in Atomic Habits. I don't know. Like, you break it. Yeah. You break it down into steps, right? Like you said, I don't want to go today, but I'm just gonna get myself there. Once I get myself there, you'll be surprised. David Goggins says it. I forget how he says it though. he's like, you know, he's like, okay, I'm just going to go. I don't want to work out. Because it's normal, guys. A lot of people, like, I feel it too all the time. And I've been training pretty much my whole life. There's a lot of, especially through Corona, especially through the lockdowns, right? There was a lot of times, you saw me running on Major Mac. There's a lot of times I didn't want to be there, brother.
On those 34-degree days.
Yeah, it's snowing and stuff. They locked us out of the gyms, this and that. And it's difficult. But once you just show up, and you showing up is 90% of it. Yeah. It's 90% of it. And then
a mental game.
It's a mental game. And then that's another thing worth diving into a little bit more is like, what's your approach on helping people mentally in regards to, because fitness is mental and then also it's physical too. And I think you covered this a bit in your podcast, which I want to get into a little bit later. Your last podcast, I listened to a little bit of it. It was like you were talking about introverted and extroverted.
Yes.
And I think it's worth people looking into to knowing themselves. Find out who you are. Because then that's how because fitness for me, and maybe you can touch on this too, is more than just aesthetics and physical attributes and physical looks. It's mostly mental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just feeling good, right?
Feeling good.
Doing something that you love. And you know, there's some days where, you know, you're not feeling well. And so I experienced that after I shut down my business, actually, which we'll get into, which is why I kind of switched my mentality with fitness. Again, we'll get into that. But I'm not going for more of the, like, I don't want to help. I do want to help people lose weight. That's my main goal. But my main thing is to help people transition their lifestyle. So after I shut down my studio, I went to a little bit of a little bit of depression because all this shit.
It's a big change. It's a big change.
You know, I went from go all the time to like nothing.
Right.
And I had to shut it down. And the one thing I leaned on was fitness. And that was like,
I love that, man.
You know, like it was just, if I don't have a routine, if I don't have something to look forward to, like I'm going to crumble. So that's kind of how I saw the power in, like, wow, fitness did really help me get through that phase. And it's helped. And then I look back on the past 3 years that I was, well, the past 10 years I've been training, but the majority of the 3 years I had my studio. And I noticed like a lot of people kept coming back. And it's just like, why are they coming? Like, you know, they've seen the results, but why do they keep coming back? It's because of the mental. I made them feel good. They loved the workouts. They loved coming to see me. They loved coming to the group sessions. They loved just everything about working out, and they didn't want to stop. And then, so when the pandemic hit, like I was trying to do online, it wasn't working. People were not motivated. So it kind of like, it's tougher. So now that I started training back again, and people are coming back like, Gabe, I need you. Like I gained the quarantine 15.
Quarantine 15, yeah, it's tough.
But they're just like, I need some sort of regularity in my life. I need to get out of my house. I need a routine. So that's kind of approach I'm going to start attacking.
100%. I think that is what somebody like yourself brings to the table, because people need. I always thought coaches and like when you're training somebody, you're coaching them too. And I did get the coaches award in high school, and just to throw that in there, because I always took pride, or I was always able to be vulnerable or humble in my approach to, I'm going to listen. When this is my coach, this is somebody who I'm looking to for advice or guidance, I'm going to listen. And I'm going to do my best to try to emulate what it is that they're requesting for me to do. So it's really important to have that mindset when you're going in. And when you do, it's going to help you, especially as a beginner. If you're able to come in there with a humble approach, like you said, remove the ego. And that's what the gym does too. It really helps strip that. And boxing helped me a lot with that too, is removing the ego. Removing the ego and challenging that ego and finding a way to get over it, and then just learn from the people around you, learn from the coaches around you. And there was a couple good things you touched on there in regards to when you went through, you went through a little bit of a tough time after you had to conclude your business temporarily, whatever it may be. We'll get into that as well, because I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that, because I followed your journey with in your entrepreneurial journey too. But doing things that suck, there's a big reward in that, man. Oh my God, yeah. There's a big reward in that. As you could see, what Gabe was just saying there is that he went through a pivotal time where he's like, what am I going to do now? But then you rely on fitness. So touch on that a little bit more. What was that like? What was that moment where you're like, okay, how did you put forward your routine, and how did you make it the most useful to then affect you in the most beneficial way?
Yeah, so I think it was in April that everything shut down, and that I shut down my business. And then,
or maybe the second time, third time, who knows how many times these guys did this.
Yeah, it was 2021 was when I actually shut down the business. So it was like in April 2020. So it was kind of getting like, better weather outside. So people were like doing outdoor workouts and stuff. But for me, it was running. Like I would just, that's my time to, like, I have my phone, but like I put on airplane mode because I don't call me, don't text me.
You listen to music as well?
Yeah, I have.
And you
go
into
like
podcasts,
I'll do. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
And you go into like a nice meditative state, right?
Go into that zone and just get out of there, right? And that's just kind of like, this is my time. Sometimes I won't use music, but I like to just to kind of get into that zone, right? And then just kind of after doing that, I would kind of reflect. I would stretch and then reflect. Okay, how do I feel now? I feel amazing. What am I going to do next? All right, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to shower. And then make my dinner or whatever the case may be. Right. So again, just by going for a run, it helped me center and present. Present? No.
Like
being the present, being the present,
which is good.
Yeah,
because
right?
anxiety comes from worrying about what's not going to happen. You got to focus on
exactly. So that's what I was doing. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Like, like when I shut down my business, what am I going to do now? Look at what I kept looking in the past. Oh, look how amazing that was. Oh shit, now what am I going to do in the future?
It's very normal.
I was going back and forth.
Yeah.
But leaning on fitness and running and all that stuff would just bring, okay, focus on right now, right? And there would be times where I would do like an 8K, 10K run, and at 5K, you're like, oh, I'm done. Like, this is good enough. And I hate those words. Even when my clients say it's good, I'm like, don't say those words. Mm-hmm. Good enough is never good enough. Like, you have to keep pushing that extra mile or that extra step. So I would get to that zone where I'm at 5K, and I would listen because it would say, you're at 5K.
Which app do you use?
Under Armour.
Under Armour one? Yeah, it's very popular.
Run.
Very, very popular.
So it's pretty good. But and then I'd just be like, all right, you got 3 kilometers left. And I was like, oh, I don't want it. Like, just take one more step. Okay, one more step. Okay, get to the corner of the street. Okay, get to that next tree. Like, I would set like
yes,
set
that's
points,
very
right?
good. That's very good.
Who did that? What was his name? The guy who did 50 marathons and 50 Ironmans.
Oh, man, that guy inspired. I don't know who it is, but I know what you're talking about. I watched that. I that inspired me to do the 100K in 1 week. That guy fired me up, man.
Bro, that guy's insane. He just finished 100 Ironmans in 100 days. Like, are you like, that's nuts?
But it just goes to show you the mentality.
The mentality. So what he was saying was like, I would get off the bike and I'd have to do his marathon run on day 35, and his feet were broken, his nails were coming off. He was just absolutely tired, but it's just one step. Get that one step.
Yes.
Yeah.
You set markers for yourself, because I feel like that's how we are as humans, man. We're goal-oriented creatures. Mm-hmm. I really do feel that, because imagine the way I train Gabe is like, I look at it like nowadays, like not back when we were younger, we had football, this and that, boxing, whatever. But nowadays, like, I train for mental health always. Yes. But I train as if I were to be a hunter-gatherer. Would I be able to run fast?
Yes.
Would I be able to defend myself if I have to defend myself?
Exactly.
How am I eating? Because at the end of the day, it was the survival of the fitness. Whoever was the strongest, whoever was the fittest survived. Mm-hmm. And I think people just brush that off nowadays, because it's very accommodating life now. Yeah. We got everything. Yeah. We got our phones, we got our cars, we don't have to do nothing. Obviously, and Corona kind of gave a little element of that in life too. We were stripped away from a lot of things. We didn't have control over a lot of things. So people were put in a situation where you really had to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Mm-hmm. And you see that with obviously everything around us changing. So especially with the workouts, people had to do home workouts. People had to, and a lot of people don't want to do that stuff, right? It's a demanding thing on you, right?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to try to improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's my approach to fitness, is the hunter-gatherer approach.
Just get after it.
Did you always enjoy running?
Be a specimen.
Yes, be a specimen. That comes by default. Guys. I don't do it for aesthetics. I do it because I fucking have to, because then I'll go crazy. I honestly will, man. It's because I hold myself accountable in that sense, and maybe it is a little bit of ego, but ego can be good in that sense, for accountability.
Yes, exactly.
But were you always a runner? Did you always run? Or did you get into it?
I did like cross country and stuff, but I was never like into that. But like, I think I got into it more, like mid 20s ish, like 23, 24. I was like, okay, this is something like, again, mentality. It was like, just get out there, be on my, study for exams. Like, okay, I'm going for a run.
Which is there's lots of studies to back that up.
Yeah,
clearing your mind.
Clear my mind, and then come back, relax, take a shower, and then boom, get back to it. So you kind of get that jitteriness out of you. Mm-hmm. And then it just became a thing I love. Just again, it's something that you can always do. I mean, whether depending I hate running on treadmills. Like, that's my worst.
Yeah, a lot of people, because it's more therapeutic when you get the scenery and stuff.
Yeah, you get the scenery. You're going up and down,
it's beautiful.
Side to side, whatever, right? So, and again, it's just being better. Like, that's why I track it on my phone all the time. It's not because I want to show off to people, like, oh, look how fast I'm running. No, it's for myself to see, okay, last time I did a 5K was 25 minutes. All right, tomorrow I'm going to do 5K in 24 minutes and 50 seconds. Beat it by 10 seconds. Yeah. Just beat myself 1% better every single day.
That's how you got to do it.
That's what it is. And that's what fitness is all about. It's just being 1% better.
Yeah, getting a little bit better each time that you go. And I think I always recommend running to people, but people, they don't really enjoy running. But I definitely would suggest it, guys, because all you need is a pair of shoes and a street, to be honest with you. But to Gabe's point, is that you get into that meditative state. And that's where I come up with a lot of creative ideas. That's where I reflect, and I'm able to, it's good for your mental health, man. And people need to understand that mental health and fitness are hand in hand. Wouldn't you say? Haven't you seen that through, like, maybe touch on some experiences that maybe you've seen personally, like, and that you've been able to contribute, you've seen the progression of people and how much substance that actually, like, fitness adds to people's mental health.
Yeah, I've had some clients who came in who were, were overweight, and they were just kind of down on themselves, low self-esteem. And then once they start to see results, once they start seeing, their self progress, you see them, they're walking into the studio and they'd be like, chest is up a little bit.
Right? Yeah.
Chin is up a little bit. And I'm like, how's it going? Like, like, oh, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling good. And like, as the months go on, you see their mentality on everything just change. Thank you, sir.
Just filling up the little beer here, guys.
You got to keep it rimmed up here.
But yeah, they come in and they're just you see the oomph.
Yeah, just like, they got a little more kick in their step, right? Yeah. And then as the time goes on, you start training them. People. I'm like a therapist, right? Like,
really, no.
When you do an hour session with someone 3 times a week for 3 months, eventually they're going to start to open up. So I've had some people just break down and cry to me. I've had people tell me their whole life story. Some people telling me their family troubles. And they say, I'm leaning on you. Like, this is why I come here, because not to get away, but because I need to get control of myself. And this is how I'm doing it. And I'm like, and that's what kind of brought me back. I was like, wow, like,
it's very humbling.
You're already fit. Like, like, I want to help you. I still want to help you, but why do I need to help you if you're already fit? And that's why, is because of the mentality.
Right.
So I've had people who've been coming to me for 5-6 years now, just because they want to continue going on. Right. So yeah, like, and that's why I think that the next phase of fitness is purely mental health. It's going to be like 80% mental health, helping mental health.
Which is such a productive way of dealing with it, because I've dealt with it myself too. I always relied on running in particular, because I would get in this meditative state and able to reflect and hold myself accountable, think about the future, think about what I need to do, think about what I'm doing wrong, all these different things. But that's powerful, man. And I told this to Mike, I told this to Anthony Cabello, like, they're physiotherapists, chiropractors, trainers, whatever it may be. What you guys are doing is you're giving people life advice daily. You're giving people your words of wisdom. You're giving people your value. So in a way, that mental game is so important. And I think personal experience plays a lot in that. Yeah. So that's what's going to make you, I think that's why I never regret anything, guys. I always say this, never regret anything, because personal experience is probably one of the most valuable things, especially when you're trying to contribute to somebody else's life. Yeah. Because you want to have been through some stuff. You want to have trained yourself. You want to have done these sort of things, because you're going to be able to provide value for people. So that's really powerful, man, that you're able to do that. And it is the future. It is the future. Yeah. The fitness and the mental health go hand in hand.
Yeah. Mental health in general is everyone's being more aware of it, and just being more accepting of it. And then just, with how fitness is coming in and they're kind of joining together and mending together, I think is going to be a huge thing in the next 5-10 years. Like, it's going to be a huge push.
How so? Like, how do you think, like, so just in regards to,
I think,
the way
right now you can get, let's say, coverage for physio. Like, I think they're going to have, like, coverage, like, for mental health, like, because, they're starting to give, like, companies, like, mental health days, like, which I think is super important.
Yeah.
Like, like, why not get a like, I think they just had it with Doug Ford. Everyone's going at him now because he was at the cottage snowmobile.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
guys,
right. Come on. Give him a break. This guy's been going through hell and back. With, like...
He's like, and the guy was... I actually saw that today. Yeah. Colin, some guy from CP24, I think, he was grinding him for, like, were you at the cottage this weekend? He's like, I was on the phone the whole time, but I went out on my snowmobile.
Yeah, like, give me 20 minutes here, someone snapped a picture. Like, so it's like, relax, guys. So I think mental health is going to be in that sense where people can take a day and just not have to worry about being judged or anything. And I think you'll start to see a lot more people leaning on fitness and stuff for mental health reasons.
Which is such a productive way to do it, man. Yeah. And then the good news is, if you want to have a couple casuals every now and again too, that's not a big deal either.
Exactly. It's not a big deal, like, to have a beer once in a while, and have a piece of cake, and it's just get it over with, because or else if you don't do it, you're going to be thinking about it constantly, and then you're going to be all right. Well, and then that's when people just they go down, right? It's just like, okay, I'm going to have one. Like, if you hold it off, I'm going to have one. Then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's it. You're done. So have it that one time, enjoy it, and then move on. Start your next day and just forget about it.
Yes, and it's almost like, I think it's Cameron Haynes, I'm not sure, but he always says, like, your rent due. You do. I always looked at it like that's why I get a little bit overwhelmed if I don't work out. That's why I always have to, because if I'm having a couple casuals or I'm eating a pizza that weekend or this and that, and I didn't train that week, or I haven't trained in a couple of days, which I can't go more than a couple of days because I'll start to lose it. If I don't, then I'll feel more guilty. But if you put in that work, you earned it, man. Yeah, enjoy yourself because that's good for mental health too. Yeah. You need a balance.
Exactly.
Balance is important, wouldn't you say?
I think so. I know so actually.
Yeah, you need to have balance because think about like schedule. Are you a routine guy? Because I'm definitely a routine guy.
Yeah, very.
And there's a lot of power within like making a schedule, for example. But the thing is, and Jordan Peterson says this, is like it's not a prison. If there's sometimes that you need to go a little bit to the left, so it's okay. Maybe one day, maybe you missed your journal one day, or you missed a workout that day because you were so busy. Yeah, it's okay. And is this something that you would like recommend to your clients, like in regard outside of just like fitness advice? Do you give them like lifestyle and then structure advice as well?
Yeah, so usually I give them like an accountability checklist. So it's basically just like, did I drink 3 liters of water today? Did I get my work on? Did I eat healthy? Very simple. Just check mark it off. Like, which by the way,
people like neglect water.
Yeah,
like the simple thing.
Yeah, very hard. And they say like 2 liters of water, like that's not enough. You need to be at 3.5.
You got to mix in that water, man.
Yeah, you need that. So that's what I tell them, and I just tell them like when you wake up in the morning, just don't look at your phone. So like just get your day started, leave your phone charging, whatever you got to do, and just keep going with it. Start your day, because how you start your day is how you're going to feel the rest of your day, how you're going to feel the rest of the week.
Yep.
So that's kind of like what I do. Outside of the gym, I try my best to kind of help them in that sense, right? Mm-hmm. And just having a physical copy, yeah, it's easy to have it on your phone and to just do, but you'll lose it. You won't go. You're gonna look at this. Oh, there's Instagram. Let me click Instagram.
Yes, right? Exactly.
So I
that's
get
smart.
A physical copy.
That's smart.
Print it out. Put it on your whatever, on your wall, on your desktop, on whatever you're gonna be doing, on your mirror in your washroom, and that's it. Put a pen right beside it. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Yeah. It takes 2 seconds. I
love that, because the checklist, and then you have something that you revert to every day to hold yourself accountable. Because these things you can easily get swamped into, like you said, with like first thing in the morning. I had to stop myself too. It's like breaking the bad habits and creating the good ones. Mm-hmm. The bad habits are, as soon as we wake up, boom, check what's going on in Instagram, what's happening right now. Yeah. That can easily swamp you right in a negative way, and then set you on a negative thing for the day and the week, like you just said.
See one bad thing, and you're like, you click that, and you click another thing, and boom, it's like you're late. Now you're rushing. Yes. Now your wife or your husband or whatever is saying, we gotta go get the kids ready. So now you're in this. Hurry up. Now you're in this stressful situation, right? Your cortisol's up, and then you skip breakfast. Now you're hungry. Your day starts, and maybe if you get late for work, but whatever, you get to work and you start your day, and you're busy, and then you miss lunch, and so
it just like snowballs.
Yeah, so it's like that 10 minutes that you could have kept your phone off is like you could have just been ahead of the game already. So.
Exactly. And I think one of the things they do in the military is like they're very strict on making your bed.
Yes.
It's the first task of the day.
Yes.
Are you the same way?
I'm the same way, and I got my fiance on it. She never misses a day anymore.
Brother, honestly.
And I get pissed if I get home and I don't see the bed.
Good for you.
I'm like, why did you get the picture?
Take a picture of it and send it to her. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Give me 10.
Give me 10 push-ups for not making the bed. But it is the first task of the day.
Yes, 100%.
That's what it is. And people think like, okay, it's just a minuscule task. It's just the bed. Yeah. But then it's the bed.
So do it.
Do it. Exactly, right? And also like keeping your room in order, keeping your house in order. I always was taught, or I always understood the importance of like your surroundings, because your surroundings is an illustration of your mind, I feel. Mm-hmm. Like the way, if your room's a mess or there's papers all on the desk that you've been neglecting for so long, that's going to add up. And if you start to do tasks, like to your point where you wake up and you give your clients this checklist and you start to bang off those tasks, there's a reward in that.
Yeah.
And I think it's
momentum.
It is. It's momentum. And it's very, very important. And people neglect those small things: drinking water, starting off your day right. Yeah. Don't look at your phone in the mornings. Make your bed. Those little things make up your day, make up your week, make up your month, your year, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so important. I love how you do that too with the bed, man.
Yeah. No, it's huge. And I think his name Bedros Keuilian. You ever hear of him?
No.
Look him up, Bedros Keuilian.
Yeah.
He's really into fitness. He owns the.
Is he like a motivational speaker? Or
he's a motivational speaker. He does. He owns the Fit Body boot camps. So they're like quick 30-minute workouts, get in, get out, and the huge franchise in the States. But when I first started my business, I would follow him a lot, and I would just pick up tips. He had a bunch of YouTube videos I would watch on how to get people in and whatever. Mm-hmm. But he says when he would hire people, he wouldn't even, like, before he even goes in, like, they would say, okay, yeah, come sit in the room. He'd let them sit in the room, and he would go outside and look at their car. And he would look inside their car and see like how their car was. If it was a mess, he would just be like, see you later. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Like
so
water bottles on the back. What's up with that?
Yeah. So he would just be like, your car's a mess. That means you're a mess. That means you're not fit for my company.
There it is.
See you later.
Wow. That's fucking
that's crazy,
powerful.
right? So
yes.
You never know who's watching.
Yeah, you never know who's watching, guys. If you got a bunch of water bottles in your back seat, maybe now's the time to go take them out, because it is, man. It's like the small things are the big things. I believe that, because I've made those changes in my life too. And again, this is personal experience. I started to change the small things, and it done me well.
Yep.
It's really served my mind more clarity. Those little things make up your day to your week and everything like that. But that's very interesting, man. So who are like some other guys that you look to for maybe inspiration in your fitness journey yourself, and then helping people? And like, where do you get your education from? Like, how's that?
Well, I started off a lot with podcasts. I listened to a lot of Tom Bilyeu. I listened to the School of Greatness. Lewis Howes there.
Yep.
Tony Robbins, obviously, but he's
the GOAT.
Yeah, the GOAT. Yeah.
We got to get the trampoline.
I listen to him so much that every time I hear it, it's all on repeat. Like, I'm like, oh, he said this like 2 weeks ago. I already heard this.
He's the best, man. He brings the energy,
he's
man.
crazy. He's like, I actually been to one of his events.
Oh, have you? How was that?
It was really good. It was actually like right when we first started, I think it was 2019, 2018, went to it was like a business event, and he was there. I'm like, I'm fucking going there. Like, I need to see this guy. So we waited all day, and then I had clients from like 5 to 9 that night, but he didn't come on till like 4, and I'm texting everyone, hey guys, I'm not making it. Like, I'm not missing this.
You can't.
He went from 4 until 7. He was.
What did he do?
He just came on. He was supposed to like talk about business and stuff, but he like, I wish I still have the pictures. I have the videos on my phone, but they're on my thing. And so yeah, like he just came on, and it was like, everyone's like jumping up, and it was like the whole day was such a drag because everyone was kind of waiting. As soon as he came on, bro, the roof on the fucking building just took off, and the energy just, oh my god, and everyone was just like pinned up and just watching, like, and he just brought it, right? He would walk up and down, everyone was just like following him like this. He would walk it's like, you didn't want to take your eyes off him. So yeah, he was only supposed to go on for an hour. It was supposed to end at 5. He went till 7. He went for 3 hours.
That's
this guy was
awesome,
like,
man.
you know what I mean? Like, so and he even said in his recent podcast, so he's like, I have all the money in the world. He owns like, he runs like 105 different companies or something. He does like $7 billion a year. He's like, but he keeps going, and it's like, what are you doing this for? And it's like, because it's his mission. It's his life mission. He's like, money doesn't matter to me. Like, maybe it might matter for someone who's just starting off, but like, you can just tell that he's 50 something, 60 something years old, and he's still powering through it, and like, he's still figuring out a way to just to touch one person.
That's why.
So that's what drives me, is like, if he's doing it at that age and he's been doing it his whole life, like, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just touch one person, touch another? Like, you know what I mean? So
there's reward in that.
Yeah, it's huge. The feeling is way bigger than achieving anything.
Exactly. That most successful people look to pass on their greatness or their success. They find a way. They don't find it. They almost entertain anybody who is willing to put themselves out there to then treat them and give them that knowledge that they've done, which that's what he's doing, which is a very important thing, is worth mentioning, is purpose. Mm-hmm. Find your purpose. Find something that sustains you meaning throughout life. Yes, exactly. And obviously fitness provides that for you. Yeah. And it's something that it gives you the energy to be able to endure. And I'm quoting Jordan Peterson here. So he says, find meaning through responsibility. And then what that does is it gives you the fortitude to be able to deal with life suffering. Because inevitably we're going to encounter things in life that are unfortunate, or you don't have control over. Yeah. All these things that play into us. So if you have meaning and purpose, these things are going to give you enough power to be able to actually endure those things properly. And guys, when I'm saying this to you, I want to mention this for the podcast. I'm not saying it, and I'm learning too. I'm learning as I'm talking. I'm learning, man. 100%. Doing this podcast, I'm learning as I go. Yeah. Just like when you first got into the training aspect of life, you just learned as you went.
Yeah, you just do it.
You fucking get in there.
Just start.
You just start. You just start. Exactly. And then you embrace the chaos. Take it in. Embrace it. Yeah. And then just keep moving forward. Talking about unexpected things, like COVID had a lot to do with our lives and stuff like that. And it changed a lot for you in regards to TieTheKnot Fitness, right? I'm saying that's the name of the business, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was,
Yeah. So give because I know that you had a lot of clients, and a lot of people respected the passion that you had for that business. And I did. I was one of them, because like I said to you before the pod, I saw that video you made at the end, and you were like such a nice caption, and I can always appreciate passion, bro. So give us like that journey. What was that journey like from the beginning until when you hit that speed bump, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah. So when I was working at Express Fitness, I had my cousin come up to me. She was, I need you to train me for my wedding. I said, oh, okay, no problem. I'll help you work out a bit, whatever. And then I was training. I'm like, wow, like there's no one that's doing like wedding specific stuff, like get people ready for their wedding, right? So I was like, kind of that's how it started, and I was like, okay, tie the knot, tying the knot, like tie your shoe, tie the knot, and tie the knot, putting your ring on it, right? I was like, wow. Perfect. So everyone that I would just kind of run it by people, and they're like, oh my god, that's amazing, yeah. And then I started searching up, wedding fitness, wedding nothing. So I was like, okay, this might be something to attack. And so that's how I got.
That's the entrepreneurial mindset kicking in, eh?
Exactly.
Good for you.
So then, yeah, I started with that and let it roll, and then it just kind of rolled into just training people, and then so I'd have people come in for their wedding. I'd have people who just generally wanted a more private fitness space, and then people who got married. Their bridesmaids would come like, oh, I'm getting married next year too, man. So and then they would get, the brides would get pregnant, or right, the wives, I guess. Yeah. They'd get pregnant, and then they'd be like, I need to get fit again. So it was kind of like this rollover type of thing, which was really cool to see. And then the pandemic hit, and I was just opening, closing, and then so I.
What was that like? Was that exhausting? Like,
it was very exhausting
mentally,
and just on everyone. Like just everyone wanted they would start a program, and then 2 weeks in, close.
Yeah.
3 weeks in, close, and then they already paid. Now what do I do? I'm trying to offer it online. I don't want to do online. All right, do I get to give them money back? And it's like, okay, well, I got rent too. I was still paying rent.
Yeah.
So I was paying rent month to month because the contract, my lease was up, and we didn't know what was going to happen, this and that. So then eventually the guy I was subleasing for just said, I need the space. I'm going to expand my business. So basically you got to be out. And I was like, all right, well, that was like, there goes that, right? There's nothing I can do about that. It's not like I can fight him on it because we're getting a month to month contract. So, so I had to shut it down, and it was yeah, probably one of the top 3 hardest things I've ever had to do. Just to accept it, just to be like, I've put so much time, so much energy, so much sacrifice into, like, sometimes I'd be there from 6 a.m. till 10 at night, just training people. And
that's a long,
so it's sacrificing on myself, sacrificing on my relationship, and everything. I would get home and I would just plop on the floor and then be like, all right.
That's why I have so much respect for business owners.
Yeah,
man.
it's
you're putting yourself out there.
I didn't know what I was getting into when I first started. I was like, I'm training clients at the gym. Okay, I'll just have my own space and just train clients. But no.
It wasn't like that.
It wasn't definitely not like that. And if I were to do that again now, I would have a totally different approach. And I could see how when people get older, they get a lot more hesitant because they start to understand more. So when I was 26 when I started, I was like, boom, just go. Just, I'm an Aries. So I just.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's why we
Me too, bro. Me too.
So we're
March what?
Yeah, April 15.
April 15. Okay, so just at the cutoff, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Around there,
They're
yeah.
like
March
20, the 20th, I think is it. Yeah. March 30?
Yeah, March 30. Nice.
So yeah, we don't think, we just go.
We go.
We'll deal with the problems after, right? Like,
that's what they, but they're leaders. There's good. There's a little stubborn. Yes, yeah. They're just a little stubborn, but fucking.
But
we live and learn.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to do it for a year and we'll see what happens. But then it ended up being 3 years. But yeah, it was like insane, like the amount of time and effort, and then you weren't getting help from the government. So I was throwing my money in.
They didn't help at all?
Nah, they were just.
Trudeau didn't help you? No help from buddy over there, right?
Mr. Flair with his hair there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard in that sense. And then you have to come to a point where you're like, okay, well, how much is it going to affect my personal life? Like,
right.
I got stuff to pay for.
You got to start to negotiate with yourself.
How much can I dump into this if I don't, and there was no clear future. They didn't know how was going to happen. Every month was changing. Every week was changing. And so I was like, all right, like, let's just call it a day. And yeah, that was probably the hardest thing I had to do because, again, putting all that time and effort and just to see it like in a snap of a finger and out of your control. I can understand if it was something like I did, like I didn't do something right, or I was burning money for no reason, but like, no, like it was rolling. Everyone was it was
going well.
Yeah, it was like, more people were coming.
It was out of your control though.
Yeah, it was totally out of my control.
Now going through like that's a very difficult thing to go through because things that we don't have control over, we get really overwhelmed with it because it's like, what the fuck, man? I'm doing everything right, this and that. Was there somebody that, like, who do you talk to when you? Because with me, I talk a lot about my things. Did you have somebody that you relied on? Like that?
I'm totally opposite. I don't talk.
Yeah, you don't talk. You don't
like
talk.
My fiance,
well, you're talking today, bud. Yeah. We got you going today, man.
Because the camera's rolling.
Yeah, exactly. You have to now.
But no, I'm a very introverted person, and I like to keep. Like, I like to deal with things within myself before I reach out. Like, I've been dating my fiance for 10 plus years and I still not hesitant because I don't trust her, but like I'd rather deal with it myself rather than go and talk to someone else. So I think that's what kind of led to my depression a little bit, is because I wasn't talking about it, and she saw that in me, and she was like, you can talk to me. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, and I didn't want to accept that.
And that comes from personality, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's your person. And that's why
that's how I've always been. I've been more quiet. Like, I'd rather, for at a dinner table with 10 people, I'm going to just chill there and just listen to everyone talk, rather than me being the guy who's going to be engaging or starting conversations. Right. So, yeah, and I think, but people, when they see me online, they're like, you're not like that. It's like, no, because like I have to,
that's good that you could switch it on though.
Yeah, when you can,
you got to be like not a dual personality, but you got to be versatile. You're versatile.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
When people would come in, I switch, and I turn into this person like,
it's business.
I look back and I'm like, who the hell was that guy? You know, like,
because you do have energy in your videos. And
when I do my workout videos, like when I look back at them, it's like sometimes I would do my own workout videos just to kind of see how I talk and stuff. And I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, I don't remember saying that. I don't remember doing that. Like, so it's kind of weird that it just comes naturally to me. And then, and then when I'm done work, I just boom, like don't talk.
You go back to being yourself.
Yeah, I want to just chill and be myself.
That's the introverted thing, which that's what you talked about in your podcast, which I want to get into after a little bit. But knowing yourself is very, very important. And doing that time and figuring yourself out, because then you learn about who you are. You learn about who you are, and then that's how you can approach life. Yeah. There's many components to life, guys. Like, this is worth mentioning too. Like, your job is one component to your life, but then your mental health is another. Do you have a relationship, or like a lot of the things that psychologists do, or clinical psychologists or therapists, is if they treat somebody for depression, they break down their life. Like, do you have a job? Are you athletically? Are you doing anything in regards to fitness? How's your nutrition? Do you have a relationship you're pursuing one? There's many different avenues. So I think it's worth touching on that a bit, but not to get too sidetracked from your actual. So then when you hit that bump, what was that experience like? Like, talk us a little bit more through that. Like, you hit that, and then how did you overcome? How did you endure?
Yeah, like we said before, I leaned on myself, leaned on fitness, and I just kept going, and thank God I had some people around, like my family, to kind of support me through that. And it was like, just keep your head up. You'll find something else. Like, just continue to just be you. Right. And that's what I kind of did. I was just, all right, let me just be myself. And I started making videos, and then I got to try to, keep in contact with my clients and be like, we'll do some outdoor training. Yep. So just try to keep my skin in the game a little bit. Yeah. Just to not get a total pull out. Yeah. So that was kind of what I did, just to kind of continue that self journey that I was trying to
100%. Right? And I think it's worth it, Gabe, to talk about these things, man. Yeah. If like when I'm going through stuff, if I don't talk about it, man, I pay the consequences for it, guys. So it's like, it's worth it. Like, even if you're in a difficult time, talk about it with the people around you, the people that you trust. And then there's real value in that. There's real value in that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so how about so now from that, like, modern day Gabe, what's it like now? Like, how's the training, like, personally, and then also for contributing wise, for helping people?
Yeah. So I just continue to do functional training all the time. Just keeps me going back into the gym. And like I said, I just like to push myself to like another. So I'm always doing like crazy different things that just to kind of like test my mental strength. So the other day I did like a full body workout with just the battle ropes. So I'm like, let me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was just like doing that.
Those things are deadly,
man.
Man.
My God, bro.
They'll get you.
My arms were just like shaking after, right? So it's like just doing crazy stuff like that, just to kind of see like so halfway through that workout, I was like, all right, this is good enough. And then again, so boom, it's like, okay, catch that. Now refocus and get back to the present moment and continue to push, right? Like. So that's kind of where I like to just do that kind of stuff. I did a marathon a couple years ago, which was crazy too, because it's like never ran that long. Like, I was training, I would run like 10, 11K, and then leading up to it, I think the most I did was like 14K. Mm-hmm. And then after that, so when I got there,
you did a full marathon, which is 42.
No, half
21.
21. Yeah. It was a Scotiabank marathon.
Okay, nice. Downtown, right?
Downtown.
How was that?
That was crazy. It was cool. It's cool to see how everyone comes together, and just people like.
The running community is legit.
Bro, they're tight. They're tight. So you got people from like 15 years old till like 8. I saw like 80-year-olds running.
Some of the best runners.
They're just going, but like, yeah.
Bro, that's the one thing about running too, is you can always stick with it, even at the older age. Because like some of the best runners that like the the long distance runners, this distance runners, they're like older.
Yeah.
Some of the best runners are much older, like in their 50s and 60s.
I don't know what it is. They got some like.
How is their like whole knees not blown out by now, man? I really don't know.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy, right? So yeah, like most I ran was like 11K, but that was 21, and bro, I was broken for a week. Like,
yeah, you felt it.
Oh my god, like it was crazy. So I can see I got a different appreciation for that too. Like I remember running. I think we're on Lakeshore, and I was running down Lakeshore. I was on like, I don't know, kilometer 6 or 7, and they had like the pros running too, right? So they have like, you can, let's say you go to the Boston Marathon, or they can go around and you can win money for these things. So Scotiabank is one of those where you get points.
That's
right? You go to the leaderboard. So they had like pros running. And then how they had staggered starts. So the pros would go first, then you had, right, different times that I thought I would run under 2 hours. So I'm in that certain group. And then if you got 3 hours for it, right?
Oh, so that's how they do it. Because I've never actually done one. I wanted to, but then the lockdowns happened. They don't have them now.
We're going to do one this year.
Yeah, I'm going to do one 100%. 100%.
So yeah, the pros go first, and then you just kind of knock off, right, the slower people go to the end, right? So I remember running on Lakeshore. I was on like 6 or 7, and I see the pros running. They're at like 15, 16. I'm like, but they're going, bro. Yeah. Like their pace was insane. So like I was like, wow, like that's
impressive.
That's crazy. So again, that mentality is insane as well, right? They had no headphones either. I noticed too. Like that was one thing I looked for. I was like, whoa, no headphones. So it's like,
David Goggins. He talks about that all the time.
Oh yeah, he's insane. Like,
yeah, he's insane. He's amazing. Like,
but that's where I get my motivation too. It's like he pushes himself mentally, physically. So that like I want to be kind of like that, where it's like, I want to push my boundaries, push my limits, right? So,
and then also like there's no age limit on it too.
Yeah,
this is for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's for life. Like you were saying earlier about that guy that you were taking aspiration from is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, that you were taking aspiration. He doesn't. He's older. There's no you don't need to get old in your mind, guys. And I believe in this thoroughly too. Like that's one of the reasons why I did this podcast, because back to the whole many components to your life thing. This is time outside of work, things that you want to do that just kind of keep you in check. Yeah. Moving forward, you're developing a skill. You're communicating. Like there's many different avenues that you can go through to keep yourself accountable to get better. Running's one of them. All these different things that are very useful for people. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the podcast. Like you started a little bit of podcast. I listened to the last one. I liked how you were talking about introverted and extroverted, because I think that people really need to understand the value of understanding who you are. I think Bruce Lee says it. There's a quote by Bruce Lee. It says, "Know yourself and you'll know everyone else." I think it's something like that. It's powerful shit.
Love that.
Because if you don't know yourself, guys, how are you going to be able to accommodate your everyday life? You need to know who you are. So that's one of the things Gabe touched on in his last episode on his podcast. So like, talk to us a little bit about how you started the pod, how you thought of it, like what your approach do you want to take to it, and it's a little bit like that.
Yeah. So I called it 1440, so 1,440, because that's how many minutes you have in every single day. So it's kind of
it's badass, man.
Yeah. So the goal is to maximize every single day, right? Maximize every minute, and then it's kind of like you have $1,440 in your bank. You ever hear that quote?
No.
So you have $1,440 in your bank account, and every single day it gets renewed, whether you spend it all or whether you don't spend a dime. So it's like, how do you spend your minutes? So you're going to maximize. You're going to spend every single minute you possibly can, or every single dollar, because the next day, you're going to, well, hopefully you wake up, but you're going to get a whole new day that you can get a whole new set of minutes, right? So how are you going to max? So you're not going to think about tomorrow. You're not going to think about yesterday. You're going to think about right now. How can I maximize my day right now? And how can I use every single minute possible to either better myself or better someone else, right? Mm-hmm. Holding the door open for someone else takes an extra minute of your day, but might mean the world to them.
Those micro events, they add up.
So same thing we were saying before, right? And so that's why I kind of started it, and just kind of talk about different things. So I want to talk about like fitness. I have 4 different categories. We go fitness, relationships, entrepreneurship / education, and then lifestyle. So it's just
those are like the 4 main things that you're covering.
Yeah. So every episode will be one of those different 4 categories, right? So we talk about all the slew of different things. So how to better yourself through fitness, how to better your relationships, whether that be with your partner, your friends, your family, the person behind you at Tim's, right? So, and then there's education. So just educating on just totally different, so many different topics. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurship. I mean, I'm not the best entrepreneur, but at least we can have people that come together. We can talk about what you learned, what the habits I have, what you've taken, what you've learned, what you've experienced, type of thing. And then lifestyle is just learning about life. That's it.
How have you liked it so far? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good. I don't have the setup like this beautiful right here, but
couple casuals. Thank you.
So I'm just doing it just basically audio right now until like.
Do you have a dynamic? Do you have a mic as well? How do you do it?
Yeah, I just do it with a mic and then just shoot the shit.
Yeah, that's the. I think there's.
And I'm just Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. What I was gonna say was about podcasting and like the modern day, like the way it is now, man. Like podcasting has been around for a little while now, but man, it's a market to jump onto, because I think that not even just for the news, but the mainstream, not even just media, but like entertainment aspect of things is like, this is like this little side avenue that's really starting to pop up.
Yeah. And I've listened to podcasts for years and I just never thought about starting one, but like, yeah, there's so much value in podcasts.
So look at the conversation we just had right now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people that you trained with, your friends are going to be able to watch this and get your side of your story. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that's the idea behind a couple casuals. It's like meeting up with you and just having a couple casuals and talking about just whatever, just having a casual conversation that sometimes they're the best part. They're the best things. Yeah. I think my quote on YouTube is never underestimate the power of a couple casuals. Never underestimate it. You know what I mean? Sitting down, having a conversation, there's real value in it. And you brought a lot of value today, and I appreciate you sharing your experiences with us, man. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for people who have passion. You have passion for fitness. Yeah. You can see that. So through your experiences, whether it be ups or downs, it's going to take you places in life. I truly believe that, and I'm going to stick with that until the day I'm done. Beautiful. Passion is the most beautiful thing in life. Yeah, 100%. So it doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter about if you're old, young. If you have passion, and then with that passion, it's like fuel. It's like fuel to your fire.
Yeah, because you can always fall back on it, right? So when you have passion, you have a why. Like why you doing something.
That's the meaning.
When things get hard, like what's your why?
Exactly.
Right? If you want to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? Because you have low self-esteem, or because you want to get to a certain point. Like that's your why. So every day. So those days when you don't feel like working out, those days where you're dragging your ass to the gym, like fall back on that and say, okay, yeah, now that's why I went.
Why did you start?
Now I need to go. Yes, that's why.
That's going to give you that little extra kick in the butt.
Yeah.
You got to hold yourself accountable in that sense. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's a lot of people can use that, especially in a time like this where things are uncertain. But I just want to segue now into the last segment on Couple Casual Podcast, which I call Salute. Salute is the last segment. I give an opportunity to the guest to, like when you're at a party, you just give a little salute. So I just want to give it to you, and you give a little salute, something for the people, for whatever.
All right. Put me on the spot here.
That's the way I do it, man. That's the way I do it.
I'm trying to think of a quote. If not now, then when?
There's one for you guys. That's a classic one. Cheers. I appreciate
Salute.
you. Thank you so much.
No
Salute.
problem.
Guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by again for a couple casuals. Gabe, tell them where to find you, bud.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at GP_fit_. I think I had to do an extra underscore because
I'll throw up the text.
Someone took my
name. And whoever has the thumbnail Stefano, can I use it, man? Like you don't even use. There's some guy like I have to use Dr. Stefo, and people literally go, "Are you doctor?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not a doctor, man." But I wanted to use Stefano, but somebody took it, and even Stefo's taken. So, but yeah, I'll throw up your tags. Where else?
There on Twitter. I just started back up Twitter, so
nice.
Find me on there again at GPFit, and then on YouTube I post workout videos, follow along workout videos where I work out with you. So if you want a 30-minute workout, you can do at home. They're on, just search my name, Gabriele Pavone, and they're there.
I'll throw up your YouTube tag too. Well, you know what you do? Send me everything. Send me everything when we're done. But I appreciate you guys. Gabe, I appreciate you. Yeah. Big salute. Thanks you guys. 100%. Until next time. Salute.